My hair just wants to do wild, wild things today. Like, what is that? Like, no, let's not. Let's behave, please. Thank you. This hair is just gonna drive me absolutely bonkers all video, isn't it? Hi, and welcome back to, or welcome to my channel. If you have no idea who I am Barbie, and I am a polycrafter. Mainly, I'm here showing knitting, crochet, and sewing, but there is a disclaimer that I could throw in jewelry making, cross stitch, vinyl, whatever else might spark my interest, just to make things slightly unpredictable and more fun. Scripts are good. So I've heard. At least they're saving for me. Because let me tell you, scripts are good sometimes. I don't always script, but when I do, I know that there's going to be a problem, and I'm going to have to read my script again. I got through this entire script a couple days ago. Yay. Found out that the audio was junk. Not yay. So here I am, repeating the script. Thankfully, I actually scripted this one. Let's get back to the video. Saying that I have been super hyper focused on testing the new sizes to my Lucy poncho pattern, I have not gotten very much else done in the last month, 2 months since my last Crafty chat. So therefore, today is going to be me hiding tails. Today I am going to be working on hiding the tails from my temperature blanket that I made a few years ago. But I will be hiding tails while discussing some spicy takes on, well, my opinions on some spicy takes that I have seen, spicy opinions that I have seen that I would like to, just give you my opinions on. However, first I would like to say that this is a test of my new video system. I have been using my cell phone to do recordings of and the voiceovers for my videos since I started this channel. And recently I have been getting annoyed more and more with the notifications that my video is being paused so that I could answer a phone call. Of course, this always happens right in the middle of a sentence, which doesn't exactly put me in the like, share, comment, subscribe kind of mood. I'm going to see how this video turns out. If I like it, yay! If I don't, I guess it's back to the cell phone until I get something else to try. Before I do get comments about do not disturb being a thing and an existing and settings, I do know this. However, let me tell you that I do have people who have double called through it just to tell me what they had for lunch. You know who you are. We've had a conversation about it. No need to name names. But I seriously cannot make this stuff up. Speaking of like, share, comment, and subscribing, I am a little channel with big channel dreams, and these actions will certainly help me to get noticed and make my way up. And so for that, I am ever more appreciative if you would do these things. Thank you so much. Mwah! You would think I would have a trash can over here. If I'm going to be sitting here doing this, you'd think I'd have a trash can over here. Do I? No. Trash can acquired. Now, as I have said, I have some spicy topics that I would like to share my opinions on. And the first of which being about a blog post that I saw that was saying that beginner crocheters yarn over but experienced crocheters really yarn under, and that yarn under is the correct way to crochet. Their idea is that is why gauges are so off for people who are trying their gauge swatches. My opinion is, let's really watch those bigger yarn tutorialists, teachers, the pattern makers that are demonstrating their patterns. I have spent me some time whilst testing this pattern that I'm working on to watch a lot of YouTube tutorials on how to do particular patterns. All of these tutorials I have seen, with the exception of amigurumi, have been using yarn overs. All of the big yarn tutorials, teachers do yarn overs. Like I said, the caveat being amigurumi. But in the amigurumi videos, they even state in it that they are doing yarn unders, because a lot of times that's the way that people prefer to do amigurumi, is to yarn under. Makes kind of a cleaner, makes a different kind of stitch. That not so much cleaner, but a different kind of stitch on the outside of their projects, which I understand. I generally yarn over in my amigurumi just for the fact that I have been a yarn over person quite often, and I have to really think about yarn under. So my take on this is that I highly doubt that this is the reason why crocheters aren't achieving the gauge correctly, nor do I think that this is the sole correct way to stitch. All of the magazines, all of the beginner tutorials, and yes, I did say beginner, but still, I think that if it is the correct way to stitch would be yarn under. I think that that would be the way that it is approached. There is no sense to teach you one way and then go, oh wait, that's the beginner section. That's the beginner stuff. Let's show you the advanced and do only yarn unders. I don't think that that's the way that they would have approached it if that is the correct way to stitch as of modern stitching. I can't say for sure how they taught it back in history, throughout history. I am not a historian per se on stitching. I just know that that is the way that it just, if it was supposed to be yarn under, they would have been teaching us yarn under from the beginning. Enough said. However, if you do find yarn under, if you are an amigurumiist, and you do find that the yarn unders make more sense for even crocheting blankets and stuff, I am not here to tell you you're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't think that the only correct way to crochet is even one or the other, to be perfectly honest with you. So that's my hot take. That is my position on that particular spicy take. I have more tails to hide. I have more tails to hide. I have so many tails to hide in this blanket. The joys of living in Wisconsin is that your temperature blankets, depending on the way you want to do your color changes, are a lot of different color changes. Why must I torture myself so? Is my least favorite. And seaming. Weaving of tails and seaming are my two least favorite parts of crochet. I could sit and I could crochet till the cows come home, and I have done that once. But the weaving in of tails and the seaming parts to sweaters and such are just things that I put off to the end, so I have a nice pile of stuff here that still needs tails hid. I would say I'm ashamed of it, but it's me. Totally me. So the second spicy topic that I have for you today is kind of loosely related to the first, and that is the gatekeeping in the crafting community. You don't need to have the biggest supply of materials to craft. I am fortunate enough to have a fiber wall, a wall of fiber behind me, but you don't need that in order to craft. You don't need the most expensive materials to start off a new craft. I personally prefer to start with the cheaper tools and if to see if that particular craft will give me joy while I'm creating using that method. However, I do understand that there are some crafts that take specific tools and products. Sublimation! I'm looking at you! But there are still cheaper workarounds and cheaper options when you're starting out. I prefer to start with cheaper tools, cheaper products, because I want to see if that particular craft is going to bring me joy while I'm doing that. If I don't, I'm not out of a big amount, lump sum of money, and if I do, I can upgrade those tools as necessary as they may wear out or break or products are used up in that particular craft. If someone wants to go out and drop a larger amount of money on something when they're starting out, that's fine too. However, after being in the crafting world for as long as I have been, I have realized that there are cheaper workarounds and tools. If you know, you know. I am not naming any craft biggies names in this, but you know. Also, the correct, like I was saying before with the correct stitches, as long as things are looking good and you are happy with the outcome that you are getting, you are crafting correctly. You don't need to be, top creator. You don't have to. Things don't need to be perfect. Sometimes handmade stuff is worth more as far as not a monetary status, but more of an heirloom status if there are mistakes in that particular. Not everything has got to be perfect. You buy clothes off the rack and they're not perfect. You can buy a mug off the shelf and it's not perfect. And these are mass-produced items. However, I do have to put in this whole thing that I am kind of a perfectionist, so if things don't look right, I kind of get, But I think that's everybody. I got off on a tangent. Dun, 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 dun. So those are my spicy topics to talk about today. It's kind of a shorter video. I'm going to have slightly longer format videos coming up shortly because I do have to put this stuff to use, and not just as a pretty background, because other than just being like a little bit like unorganized back there, it is actually material to be used. However, things are going to get a little bit longer. I've got some other more in-depth videos to start, and so if you did like this, I have extra videos for you to watch. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help my channel. Thank you so much, and until next time.